Good afternoon, Amit. So we are here on July 31st, day 5 of the Olympics. How's it going?
Oh, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to everybody who is chiming in. It has been awesome. Olympics, it is like for me, a kid in the candy store. Lot of good things, lot of disappointing things happening so far. So let's get into it.
So first, health and wellness check. Are you sleeping?
I am sleeping between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. every day. Got 2 a.m. my time, the Olympics start.
It feels like having a new baby in the house.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
All right. So let's go with let's first start with the Indian contingent's performances, highs, lows, everything, and then let's move to a more global lens.
So
So
highs, I don't think so there is any doubt. Every 1.4 billion Indians will tell you the high is Manu Bhaker. She is just, first of all, first Indian women to win 2 medals in the same Olympics. The only other Indian man was Norman Pritchard, who got two in
who we
1900.
who,
So
who we talked about last week.
who we
So
talked about last time. And nobody has ever won three, and she has one more event to go, 25 meters. Fingers crossed. We want history. So that is awesome part. The disappointing things. The biggest one for me was men's archery team. They were world number two. They did very well in the ranking round. They came third, and then they laid a big goose egg in the quarterfinal. It's not that they lost. How they lost was very disappointing. Whenever they needed a key arrow, they struck a 7 or an 8. So that was very disappointing. Means I think pretty happened with you also. We wanted to break the TV at that time. It was that disappointing. On the flip side, Dheeraj, who was number 4 on the individual side, he lost his first round too. But I don't blame him. You know what happened he was leading 5-1 with one more point to go. And then Peters comes in, does 30 or 10, 10, 10, 30, 10, 10, 10, 30, ties it 5-all, and then shoot off again 10. So it's okay. There's no shame in losing to that.
this is like a Djokovic game, right? Just when you think that you have the lead.
Yeah, you have the lead and you think you can win.
Yeah. Last two sets, the guy comes in and wipes
Yes.
you out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did see that game. Yeah, that Canadian guy, Peters, yeah, he was just something else, such nerves of steel. The other ones, I know we did not like have a lot of hope. So it's not like, yeah, they did what they could, not a big upset in that sense, upset in our very narrow Indian lens.
Yes, so a couple of things which have. So one, Lakshay Sen was in a group with Jonathan Christie, world number 3, and only one person from the group goes to the next round, and he ended up beating him and going to the next round. Now, sad part is he is meeting Pranoy in pre-quarterfinals, which means yes, we are guaranteed one spot in the quarterfinals, but two becomes one. So that's a sad part, and good
And
and
that
bad.
happened a few hours back, right?
Few hours back.
Yeah.
Another thing which happened a few hours after our first episode was the boxing draw. 6 boxers, 5 of them face world number 1 or world number 2 before the medal rounds. You expect them to face in the finals or semifinals, correct? Any semifinal loser gets a medal anyway. But we are facing them before that. Including my favorite Nikhat Zareen, including Loveleen Borgina, and including Nishant Dev today, who beat the number 7 from Ecuador to bump into number 2 from Mexico.
Oh,
So,
incidentally, it is Lovelina's birthday today, I believe.
yes, it is Lovelina's birthday today. Happy birthday. And let's hope she ever listens to us.
Yeah. The other ones, hockey, I think we were a little bit lucky to win both our games.
One, yes. The New Zealand game 3-2
Yes.
were definitely lucky. We were lucky to tie the other game 1-1,
yeah.
Argentina.
Yeah.
But because we are unbeaten right now, we have 2 big games now. One tomorrow versus Belgium, and
early in the
one
morning
against Australia day after. So I am worried about Belgium now. Belgium killed Australia 6-2 the other day. It was
My
like,
God, amazing.
What was going on? If somebody can beat Belgium like that,
I mean,
That
Australia
is
like
great.
that. Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
is crazy. I want to highlight one thing about this particular thing, hockey. Because of the continental quotas, because every sport has to have a continental representation. Because of that, the lower seeding sometimes come in the tournament. Field hockey men's is the only event in the whole Olympics where all, say, if this it has 12 people in the tournament, if you have 16 or 18 in another event, all top 12 have qualified.
yeah,
So there is no dark horse or no lucky loser who has gone
yeah,
in. It's a
yeah.
phenomenal Olympics, phenomenal hockey event. Everybody is very close. Till Belgium beat Australia, everybody was packed next to each other. Now I'm worried about Belgium.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, I think they definitely have, as I say, the wind under the wings. And the point that you made about hockey, there is always a gap between, let's say, a lot of these other team sports, the global premium sport event, and then the Olympic event. If we take football or soccer or basketball or tennis, etc., you know that there's a premium event happening somewhere where everybody's more focused. Olympics is not it. For hockey, Olympics is it. I mean, obviously, there's a hockey championship, but Olympics is a very prestigious event for hockey. So you get a really good Olympics. I mean, if you win an Olympics gold, it really means a lot.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think we have had a debate in the past, and we were having a debate today about Olympics being who should be in Olympics, because they're having a debate on which sport to be killed
Dropped.
and which
Yeah.
sport to be
Yeah.
replaced. They have breakdancing this year in the as an Olympic sport. Next time we have squash for the first time. We have cricket for the first time next
Yeah.
time. I always believe in, if Olympic is not the pinnacle of that sport, it should not be in Olympics.
Yeah. I'm not at all excited about cricket being there. I
Yeah,
get enough
same here.
cricket. Yeah.
As a cricket fan, we will always cherish World Cup more than the Olympic.
Yeah.
The only reason is it gives an extra chance for India to have medal,
To win a
because
medal.
India
Yeah.
is having so few medals. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing. Same goes for me, goes for soccer.
Yeah.
Olympic soccer doesn't excite me at all. It's under 23 with 3 professionals allowed on a team. Why? Why are you even doing that?
Yeah. But on that note, I think basketball has an interesting thing because NBA is such a diverse, and I would say diverse in terms of country representation, you have people from many countries. So it's really cool to suddenly see Wembayana or Doncic or these guys suddenly pop up. Manu Ginobili, well, not this Olympics, but in the past, them pop up in their country teams.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where we talked briefly last time. The biggest matchup, if it happens, I want to see is USA versus France. USA team is all legends.
Yeah.
France team is Victor Wembanyama, number 1 seed, from number 1 draft pick from last year.
Yeah.
3 draft picks out of top 10 from this year, and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
I want to see that team, which will be phenomenal in future. The legends of NBA versus rookies of NBA. It will be a phenomenal game.
What a great assessment there. So speaking of rookies, so let's go back to the Indian team. So obviously not everybody has quite played up to their potential, but if you had to go on to the next Olympics, where do you think some of these people who have age on their side, and even if they're not, they really showed a really good skills, and they maybe got a bit unlucky, maybe some of it was nerves, some of it was, like you said, meeting the top seed very early in their thing. Where would you put some of our chances for next year? I'm way early for next Olympics. I'm way early for that because obviously this Olympics isn't over, but wait, early predictions.
So, okay. So like Manu Bhaker, Sif Samra, which I have said that she will win a medal. Manu Bhaker was where Sif Samra is this year, 4 years back. With all the expectations, people like me expecting her to win a medal, and she did not. So 4 years later, the skills are there, but the mental side of it, she worked on. You could see her face that she's not going to be overwhelmed by the occasion. Let's put it that way.
Which happens a lot with us.
Yes, which happens a lot with us. You saw that in archery. Do you think the talent was an issue?
Yeah.
They are hitting 10, 10, 10, and suddenly they are 8 and 7s, correct?
Yeah.
So same in archery. There are a couple of young ones who are ready to come. Same in hockey. we won the bronze medal last time. It's a 16-member team. 11 of that squad is playing this year. 7 or 8 of them will not be available for next Olympics because of sheer age, including our legend goalie, Shrijesh. Krishna Thakur is ready. The next guy is available. So we have those guys coming up. Then coming back to shooting, people like my wife's niece, Ramita, barely 20-year-old. There are, I think, 6 shooters between 20 and 25. They will all be in their prime in 4 years from now. So people like them, we need a little different churn in boxing, honestly. Nishant Dev did phenomenally well this year, but there are a lot of newer boxers need to come in and do it. We talked about Aman Sehrawat. Remember, we have yet to see him in wrestling. Those people and people of those ilk with that kind of a design will be huge in 4 years from now.
And we were talking a little bit about on the topic of the aging out. I mean, wrestling, boxing, these are physical sports. Age becomes a factor at some point. Shooting or even archery, these don't require that kind of physical effort. Is that true? I mean, do you think they compete a little bit older than?
They do. They can and they do. But it's all about nerve control and body control. If you see the pistol and versus the rifle, pistol, you can only touch the whole thing with one hand. The pistol, you can't even put a second hand to hold this. You have to
like
do one
like Amitabh used to do.
Like Amitabh used to do, and it's 10 meter. The size of the 10-point hole is like a dime.
Yes.
So
eyesight
same in archery. They said if you are half a degree wrong in your angle, you will be off the board. Forget about scoring a 7.
Yeah.
Think about the because it's 70 meters. Archery is 70 meters.
That is a long distance. 70 meters is a long distance.
So
people run 100 meters.
Yes, but it brings us to the question which we have been talking about, the gender part. Correct? Do archery and shooting need to be separate for men and women? There is it's mostly mental. It mostly control of your body rather than lifting heavy stuff. And in lot of, if you see the scores, the same distance and everything for men or women, women are shooting equal or better than men in a lot of cases. So why should we have to let them compete with each other? Just like one sport where there's only one Olympic sport where there's no gender consideration for the team, which we talked about equestrian. Since the beginning of times, women and men, because it's all about the horse, not the rider. Men and women compete. And by the way, this is the first Olympics where we had gender equality. Exactly same number of men and same number of women competing in the Olympics.
And almost in the medals, I believe, right?
Only 5 medals difference. It's 329, it's 162 versus 167. And primarily there is 1 and 2 here and there, but primarily the Greco-Roman wrestling is only men's, and there are 6 in that. If you take 6 men's out, it almost becomes equal.
The other thing you mentioned, equestrian, and there's another theme that I want to talk about a little bit here. Equestrian is the other sport where you have people without any age limit. So the oldest people are actually in equestrian, which brings us to the next game. We talked a little bit about when we say talked, we have a WhatsApp group where we discuss. So we did have this discussion around the Chinese table tennis players, Chinese origin table tennis players. So there are 2 of them this year. And one of them is representing Luxembourg, and another one is representing Chile. So the Luxembourg player, Mei Xianlian, she's 61, and she's that grandma, they call her. She's not a grandma by, I mean, she doesn't, her kids haven't had, I mean, she's not a grandparent in the definition of the term, but obviously she's on the, you're over 60, so you'd get that. Another one is Zheng Jiying, who's representing Chile, and she's 58 years old. So 2 things. One is, of course, you have the 19-year-olds like us, or 18-year-olds like a Summer McIntosh in swimming, and you have a 61-year-old. So that's really cool in the same Olympic Village. The other thing was, I want to go 2 ways with this. One is age as a thing, And we talked a little bit about that with the Indian team and what it looks like. And you have a ton of players who have been representing fourth, fifth, including Katie Ledecky. The other thing I wanted to also talk about or touch upon briefly was how you have these players, Chinese players, who did not get into the Chinese team or did, but they were too old at the time table tennis got introduced. And now they're going into other countries. And you have it in many other sports also. I think that's pretty cool. A lot of the European nations and US also have players who fit that definition. And also, I should say South America also, I think, has a few of them. Obviously, Asian countries don't get that. I mean, big reason for that, the way it is with immigration rules. So, but I think that gives a huge edge. Anyone else in your thing, Amit, stands out as, wow, this person could have played for country A, but they're actually playing for country B?
The best is Joel Embiid in NBA.
Exactly.
He's getting booed in France. Look at that. Every time he comes on the thing, the crowd boos him because he refused to play for France and is playing for US.
Exactly. So and he even spoke in French at the.
He spoke in French in an interview, and he's so fluent, man. His French was better than his English. That's a joke, but you know what I mean. So that is one. By the way, just an exception to Asian, there are a lot of North African middle distance runners who run for Bahrain now.
Yes, I should say that Bahrain has that. Yes,
Bahrain has that. The oil money they are attracting. And then one single exception, but it's sort of an ABCD kind of a concept. Tanisha Crasto. I always talk about
Great story. Tell us about her.
She represented India. She is barely 20 years old. Another great young phenom in India's doubles badminton with Ashwini Ponappa. Ashwin has been playing doubles forever with Jwala Gatta in the past, and now with her. She will retire and Tanisha will need another partner. Tanisha is born in Dubai to Goan parents, moved to Bahrain, represented Bahrain in under 13, moved back to UAE, represented UAE in juniors, then moved to India, represented India in juniors in last year, and now last 3 years she is in the senior circuit and doing very well, and hopefully she'll do very well. Here she came in to improve her badminton. But India is a better badminton country than UAE and Bahrain. A lot of people go to say Chile and all because they are leaving China because China is a better table tennis country.
Exactly.
And they not get a spot there. So that's a good thing that they find that. Not many non-Indian backgrounds come to India, but India is 1.4 billion people. I think we
should be able to find people within ours.
We should be within our borders. Within the whole
Not the case with a Chile or a Luxembourg or a Bahrain, which are obviously much smaller countries.
Yes.
But yes, I mean, in terms of this phenomenon, and the reason I also bring it up is immigration is such a controversial topic nowadays. The fact that you have these players, and we saw that even in FIFA World Cup and Euro also, and I mean, it leads to all other kinds of right-wing nonsense at this. But the fact that you have people who are representing and they're kind of finding themselves in through a sport. I mean, even Victor Wembanyama or your Giannis is also, I think,
Greece, but he's playing for Greece.
He's playing for Greece, but I think his parents came from somewhere else, if I recall.
Because he's a mixed race, but he's born in Greece.
Yes. So he is not. That's true. Unlike, maybe the way I should say it is not them, but their parents.
Not them or their parents. Yes.
Cool. Let's move on to another thing. Talking about viewership, how's your viewing experience been so far? Watching it on, and you and I have both been watching it on Peacock. So one of the things I heard from a friend of mine who watches it on NBC. NBC is the terrestrial broadcast. Peacock is the online, so you get a little bit more options because it's an OTT. In NBC, it's very US focused. You don't get too many other sports. But on Peacock, because it's OTT with more content, we can pick and choose. That's what I gathered. What was your?
Pretty much, yes. Your friend is right. But NBC, you get popular sports, US and popular sports. Almost all like archery. US is not in archery. I saw all the archery knockouts on NBC on TV. There are 6 channels on TV right now showing Olympics. Plus Peacock. Peacock, you see everything. The only thing which did not come on Peacock was shooting qualification, and archery qualification. Outside of that, everything is available. So, the one thing is a little funny. You probably mentioned that table tennis, and the same happened for a couple of other sports too. In table tennis, it's in the same hall. In the badminton also, in the same hall. So there are 4 tables.
Yeah.
When there are 4 tables, there are 4 different cameras on each table.
Yeah.
But on a Peacock, you get one screen with 4. See, I'm already watching on a laptop with 4 small screens in it. Why couldn't they give me single screen option? I don't know that how did it matter, because at any given point of time, sometimes in the peak time, there are 18 or 20 Peacock live events going on parallelly.
Yeah, and just to show what I'm referring to, or what I think you are referring to here, this is what it looks like. You see 4 different. It's like one of those 70s movies with split screen. So
Yes.
so yeah, it's super distracting.
Super distracting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing they can say is because they are all in the same stadium, the crowd noise is common. So we don't have to worry about it.
Very true. And then of course, I think this is the golden age of watching any sport on TV. I'm not just Olympics, any sport. There's so much of analysis. There is so much of the way that they can focus on the ball or the arrow or whatever else. Obviously, they can't focus on the bullet when it comes to shooting. But anything that looks really good for you as you watch it on screen?
Oh, actually,
just in terms of detail.
Arrows is a perfect example. They show the flight of the arrow.
Yeah.
It is just amazing. It is mystifying. Yes, it reminds me of Ramayana and Mahabharata of 1980s when the arrows will come and bang into each other. But that jokes aside, it is phenomenal. Another viewership option, which is not so good, and I would like everybody who watches this in the comments mention there what they liked and they did not like, is hockey, field hockey.
Yeah.
I am used to seeing ice hockey. Ice hockey puck is smaller than a field hockey ball.
Yeah.
Still, because of the money involved, the cameras, how many cameras and how many people are really into it, when it's a penalty corner, which is a set piece, which is the most important piece in field hockey, correct? You don't, till they show the replays, you are not able to see every angle of the whole thing, where it hit the back, the feet, or the glove, or the stick. You have to see in the camera what's going on.
Yeah.
It's not in the case in ice hockey. You can literally follow the puck all the way around on the ice, man.
Yeah, and I think, and this is a complicated one. Obviously, we are so used to seeing some of these things on movies that we feel that, we can see it from 10 cameras. A lot of these sports don't have that kind of camera setups. They don't have that kind of money. A professional thing like NHL will have that setup. Their sponsors have everything. These guys don't have that. So they don't have like 10 cameras showing it and, the Zamboni and all of that. So I understand that. And that way, I think the smaller sports, and just to show what you were talking about in terms of the archery, there's something very visceral about like the image that I have on right now, where the arrow is hit the target, right? That's something we know. It's a very familiar image for any of us, and not just the Ramayana Mahabharata one, for anybody anywhere. They know that it's a target, it's a practice. And that part of it is very hard to come by in other sports. You don't have something so recognizable like judo. We have a little bit of understanding of judo because we've seen martial arts movies. We've seen fencing because we've seen Star Wars. We have seen arrows a bit like Hunger Games made, or like Ramayana, you said. So we have a little bit of that, but things which are not very familiar. Swimming, we don't see swimming every day, even though swimming is, everybody knows what swimming is. Swimming, I see on the camera, when they go to the top and you see down and you see the way that they're turning, you can never get that experience in live. Whereas for hockey, even athletics, I feel that when you see the whole thing in front of you, your eyes immediately know where to look. And you get a much bigger, a better perspective. At the end of the day, it's a little bit like an action sequence in a movie. Why does a good action sequence work? Because you know who's where relative to whom. And then you have someone like a Christopher Nolan, and you can't figure out the action scene because it's too complicated. The camera angles are too complicated. You need to make, and sorry, I'm getting into a rant on movies, but something like a Mad Max or something, where it is very easy to see where the action is going. And that's what you really need in a sporting thing in terms of the viewership.
Agreed 100% on that.
One last thing before we wrap up. medal tally, anything that kind of surprised you? See some countries doing way better than you expected. I think France is doing way better than I expected, really. But then host countries usually do.
Yeah.
But anything that kind of made you feel, wow, some of these traditional powerhouses, maybe they're shifting. Russia is not here. So, I mean, Russian athletes are here. Russia is not here. So there is some of that US versus Russia, which kind of sustained for I don't know how many Olympics. I think that is gone. US versus China is one. But Australia, Great Britain, in individuals in specific sports are really doing well and probably gotten more. I mean, I really expected US to have more swimming golds, for example. And
US had 11 swimming golds last time, 30
yeah,
medals. They are at today with Katie Ledecky's 1500 meters. They are at the number 3 gold in
yeah,
swimming.
yeah.
So they are probably going to hit 25 to 30 medals in swimming anyway.
Yeah.
But the number of golds is the problem.
Yeah, which is what matters in the count, in the medal count.
Which matters in the tally.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, from my favorite Olympic stat in medal tally is Guatemala. Okay, Guatemala till this Olympics happened had 1 medal in 2012 in 20-kilometer walk. Okay, and till this year they had 2 Nobel Prizes. They are one of the few countries in the world who had more Nobel Prizes than Olympic medals. A phenomenal stat there. They have won 2 medals this year, 1 gold and 1 bronze.
Yeah.
1 in the history and 2 this year.
Amazing.
Well, look at that was, one they happened today in the morning in the shooting, both in shooting actually, men's trap and women's trap. But that is my favorite stat for this year's Olympic. I don't know anybody can beat winning double of your whole history of Olympic medals in one Olympics.
So US shouldn't expect that.
Nobody will. India expected when India used to win 1 medal every time.
Yeah.
But still,
thankfully, we are beyond those days.
Because of our hockey, 8 gold medals in the history, we will never reach that, at least not in next 15, 20 years.
I think someone mentioned Hong Kong and then Bangladesh. Bangladesh did not win anything.
No,
Hong Kong and Singapore have won. Singapore not in these games, but in the past they had a swimmer, I forget his name. Hong Kong won, and they had this whole thing with Italy on that, right? The pineapple pizza thing.
Yes.
And some of these things are really funny. Some of these Olympics controversies.
Hong Kong wins every time. They already have 4 medals this year, 2 golds and 2 bronze.
Yeah.
And Bangladesh, by the way, is the largest, most populated country in the world to never have a medal.
Yeah.
So Bangladesh is that. So they are in that category right now.
Yeah, which is kind of sad. I wonder if there are Bangladeshi expats in other countries who are competing.
Possibly. Who knows? There may be. There may be.
By the way, in the US, there are a few of them, like Kanak Jha, who's India. Our local Bay Area boy.
Yes.
He's made to the last 16 in table tennis, I believe.
Yes, and he upset the high-ranked player.
Yeah, and I did not know this. US has never won anything never medaled in table tennis or badminton. So we have 2 Bay Area players, Li Zhang and Kanak Jha. Anyway, any other controversy? There's a whole River Seine and it's dirty.
River Seine actually happened today in the morning. Both the triathlons happened after a 1-day postponement.
Yeah.
The biggest controversy happened a day before the Olympics started, when the drone incident of Canada Soccer.
Yeah.
They were, of course, they fired the coach. They banned the coach for 1 year. She can say, I did not do it.
I think today some emails came out also where she knew that what they're doing is wrong.
Highly improbable. Anyway, she has a responsibility, and they were docked 6 points. Yeah. So means they are a 4, and they are a gold medalist, by the way.
Yeah.
They are a 4-team group, and maximum they can win is 9 points. They were docked 6. So they maximum now can have 3. So they were basically, they can still qualify as a 3rd place lucky loser.
Yeah.
But it has become hard for them to qualify.
Yeah. And I have to say, these are much more serious punishments than what you saw in NFL on the sign stealing scandals of NFL, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. These are very, very serious. Yeah, I know, but it's you wait for these events once in 4 years and you get destroyed like that.
Yeah.
The players must be feeling
My
very
God,
cheap.
yeah.
They have
I
made
don't.
the effort for 4 years, correct?
Yeah, they're not party to this. So yeah,
Yes.
I completely agree with you. I think that covers everything. Anything else?
Yeah,
Any other highlights?
just overall, we did talk about overall one thing about the Mondo track, the track and field, because track and
Yes,
field is starting tomorrow. The first,
that's
which is
right.
20-kilometer walk, India has 3 men in it, and we talked about last time, is happening tomorrow. The Mondo track is supposed to be, first of all, Mondo track has been used in Olympics since Barcelona, and then we skipped one Olympics, and since then last 10 Olympics all the way through. Okay. So there, but this time the track is supposed to be super fast and other things. So two things you expect from a records point of view. One is related to a track. You know, the oldest track and field race record, which is still there, is Flojo's 200 meters.
Yeah.
21.34 seconds since 1988.
And I think
Last year,
Michael Johnson was 19 point something. Anyway, whatever.
yes.
Yeah, and the men's.
So Sharika from Jamaica did 21.41 last year.
Yeah.
She can come close, and on this track, watch out, Sharika is breaking that record.
You mean Shakari?
No.
Oh, you're talking Sharika of
Jamaican.
Jamaica, not Shakari
Not Shakari.
Richardson of
Shakari is not breaking
US.
that record.
Yeah.
Sharika of Jamaica. Sharika, I think Johnson only.
Yeah.
Okay. She is breaking that. That is one up for grabs. And one is pole vault. And surprisingly, Duplantis, who is a modern day Sergey Bubka, he has a top 6 jumps in the history in pole vault, and his nickname is Mondo, which he's also Armando Duplantis. So we are expecting him to break the pole vault record again. So those two records I am looking forward to as track and field starts tomorrow.
So it reminds a little bit of 1968 Mexico City. Altitude helped Bob Beamon, etc. I don't know if you're going to see something like this, but obviously this is, I mean, and those, like we have wind assistant and climate assisted records, which are a little bit of an asterisk next to it. But these are because of the track. So in that sense, I don't think there's any discounting factor. Correct?
No, there's no discounting factor, and this will be awesome. Actually, I'm just confirming the name. It's Sharika Jackson, not Johnson.
Jackson, okay. But yeah, talking about Shakari, though, she's also coming back. So let's see how she does.
She is with we talked with a chip on her shoulder, with a vengeance. And we expect a great drama. Whatever happens, it will be great drama.
Same with Lyle. Yeah. And I think coming to next week and the last week of the Olympics, and we'll do one more episode at the end of it. I think now it's going to be all about the athletics. So that's going to be, and that's talking about viewership. I think that's one of the most popular sports. And obviously, that's something that we are going to be really focusing on for the, we're going to be watching a lot of in the next few days.
Absolutely.
My other highlights, I think I'm glad to see the two people that I mentioned in the first podcast have both gotten their goals, Katie Ledecky and Simone Biles. Simone Biles has her individual things yet to happen. And I think
three of the four.
Yeah. And Katie has 800 still left.
And 4x200.
And 4x200, yeah. So let's see. But very impressed with Marchand. That was something else, man. That guy.
He participated in 6 medals. I, with my son, projected it 5.
Yeah.
He has already got 2, 3, and 1 race he came 5th. So he got 2 gold. 3 more races to go. Let's see. He is something.
And Summer McIntosh from the women's side.
And Summer McIntosh. There's some of these people are just crazy. And McIntosh, luckily for us, for viewers like us, she shows so young. We'll see her a couple of more Olympics.
Yeah. This is her second Olympics already.
This is second Olympics already. Like Tom Daley, I told you.
Like Tom Daley, yeah.
5th Olympics.
Yeah, amazing. People just start younger and younger, or we are getting older and older.
We are getting older and older, yes.
Probably a good place for us to stop. So this was second episode of the Khel Khel Men, and bringing you the action from the last 5 days of the Olympics. And our next episode will be after the Olympics ends, and we'll do a review at that point. What do you think, Amit?
We can do one more in the week.
We can squeeze in one more, or I will squeeze in one more before the Olympics ends, and hopefully there'll be more medals to show for India at that point.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, guys, bye everybody, and thanks, Tipu. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Amit.